Ever wondered if humans truly stepped foot on the moon? Or if it's all just a jaw-dropping Hollywood illusion masterminded by the legendary Stanley Kubrick? Picture this. The moon landing, a historic moment we've all seen in grainy footage. Could it be the greatest hoax ever pulled off by NASA? Today, we're diving deep into the shadows of Apollo 11 to uncover the hidden truth. Was Kubrick, the genius behind 2001, A Space Odyssey, secretly hired to stage this cosmic charade? From mysterious shadows to whispered conspiracies, we're peeling back the layers of the moon landing mystery to reveal what's really out there. Buckle up, space explorers. Let's chase the facts and expose whether the Apollo 11 mission was a giant leap for mankind or a clever fake scripted by Hollywood's finest. Hey there, explorers of the unknown. Welcome aboard. I'm your host from Unusual Files, and today, we're embarking on an epic quest to unearth the truth behind one of history's wildest tales. On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong took that iconic, one small step for man, onto the moon. Or did he? What if that giant leap was just the greatest lie ever told? A cosmic cover-up orchestrated by none other than Hollywood legend Stanley Kubrick? That's right, folks. We're diving headfirst into the swirling storm of moon landing conspiracies to figure out what really happened with Apollo 11. Was it a triumph of human exploration? Or a blockbuster hoax directed by the genius who gave us 2001, A Space Odyssey? Stick with me, because this journey is packed with mind-blowing clues. And I need your help to crack the case. Let's set the scene. It's the height of the space race. And NASA's under insane pressure to beat the Soviets to the moon. Apollo 11 launches. Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin supposedly touch down. And the world cheers. But here's where it gets juicy. Some say it's all fake. A perfectly staged show with Kubrick pulling the strings. Why him? Well, his sci-fi masterpiece 2001 wowed the world with visuals so real. They looked like they came straight from space. Could NASA have tapped this cinematic wizard to fake the moon landing? Today, we're dissecting the evidence that's got conspiracy fans buzzing, like shadowy anomalies in photos, weird lighting tricks, and whispers of secret studio sets. Did Stanley Kubrick turn the Apollo 11 mission into his greatest film ever? Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on. Unusual Files. This sounds too wild to be true. And trust me, I get it. 600 million people watched the moon landing live. And 400,000 worked on the Apollo program. Could they all be in on a lie? That's what we're here to explore. We'll dig into the juicy details. Those odd shadows that don't line up. Reflections hinting at Hollywood lights. And even the mysterious Van Allen radiation belts, zones of deadly energy that some say made a moon trip impossible back then. Did NASA really send astronauts through that? Or did they call up Kubrick to whip up a fake moon set instead? The questions are piling up, and I'm counting on you to help me sort fact from fiction. Here's the deal, mystery lovers. If you're as hooked as I am on unraveling this Apollo 11 enigma, hit that like button right now. It's your way of saying, keep digging. And if you're new here, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss a single clue. We're not just watching a video, we're teaming up to chase the hidden truth behind the moon landing. Was it real? Or was Stanley Kubrick the secret director of NASA's biggest hoax? The answers are out there, and we're about to find them together. So, grab your tinfoil hat, buckle up, and let's blast off into this wild ride. Ready? Let's go. Welcome back, truth seekers. Let's rewind the clock to the 1960s. A wild era when the United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a cosmic showdown known as the space race. Picture this. The Soviets were crushing it, firing off Sputnik, the first man-made satellite to orbit Earth, and sending Yuri Gagarin, the first human ever, rocketing into space. They didn't stop there, racking up record after record, from snapping the first pics of the moon's far side to pulling off jaw-dropping spacewalks. Meanwhile, the US was scrambling to catch up, trailing behind in this high-stakes game of galactic one-upmanship. The pressure was insane. America couldn't afford to lose face on the world stage. Enter President John F. Kennedy with a bold, almost unbelievable promise. We will land a man on the moon before this decade is out. It was a rallying cry that echoed across the nation. But here's the million-dollar question. Could they actually pull it off? Fast forward to the moon landing conspiracy that's kept tongues wagging for decades. Some say NASA hit a brick wall, space tech just wasn't ready to conquer the lunar frontier. So, what did they do when the odds stacked up against them? Whispered rumors point to a wild twist. They turned to Hollywood for help. And not just anyone, but the one and only Stanley Kubrick, the visionary director who'd just blown minds with 2001, A Space Odyssey. If you've seen that film, you know why. Its stunning visuals and jaw-dropping special effects made space feel realer than real, almost too perfect. Right? Could Kubrick have been the secret weapon NASA needed to fake the Apollo 11 moon landing? That's what we're digging into today, folks, because this theory's got legs. And it's packed with juicy details that'll make you question everything. Let's break it down. The space race wasn't just about science, it was a Cold War power play. The Soviets had the upper hand, and America was desperate to plant that Stars and Stripes flag on the moon first. Kennedy's speech lit a fire under NASA, but skeptics argue the tech wasn't there yet. Rockets? Shaky. Radiation shields? Sketchy. A trip to the moon and back? Maybe more sci-fi than reality. So, instead of risking failure, did NASA team up with Hollywood's golden boy to stage the ultimate hoax? Kubrick's 2001 wasn't just a movie. It was a masterclass in making the impossible look effortless. Those sleek spaceships, that eerie lunar landscape, could they have been a dry run for faking Apollo 11? Some conspiracy buffs swear NASA handed Kubrick the script, saying, "Make it look real, Stan, and if anyone could pull off a moon landing hoax, it's the guy who turned space into cinematic gold." So, what do you think? Mystery lovers? Was the moon landing a triumph of human grit? Or a Hollywood blockbuster starring Neil Armstrong? Directed by Stanley Kubrick? We're about to dive deeper into the clues, shadows, lights, and secrets that might just crack this case wide open. Stick around, because the truth's out there, and we're hunting it down together. Alright, mystery hunters, let's dive into the heart of the moon landing conspiracy. What's got people whispering that Apollo 11 was a Hollywood hoax? Buckle up, because the clues we're about to unpack are straight out of a sci-fi thriller. First up, those eerie, suspicious shadows. On the moon, the sun's supposed to be the only light source, right? So why do the astronauts' shadows seem to twist and turn in different directions? Almost like they're dancing to their own tune? Could it be a dead giveaway that NASA swapped the lunar surface for a studio soundstage? Complete with artificial lights? It's the kind of detail that makes you go, "Wait, what?" and wonder if the moon landing footage is hiding a big secret. Next, let's talk about those bizarre light reflections that have conspiracy fans buzzing. Picture this. An astronaut stands in a pitch-black shadow on the moon, yet somehow they're lit up bright as day, like they're posing under a spotlight. How's that possible without a Hollywood-filled light sneaking into the shot? On a barren lunar landscape with no atmosphere to scatter light, those glowing figures look more like actors on a film set than explorers in space. It's a head-scratcher that fuels the theory, maybe Stanley Kubrick, the genius behind 2001, A Space Odyssey, sprinkled some movie magic to make Apollo 11 look out of this world, literally. Then there's the smoking gun, or should I say, the labeled rock? Check this out. In one famous moon landing photo, there's a boulder with what looks like a big, bold C etched onto it. C, really? It's as if someone in the props department forgot to peel off the label before yelling, "Action!" That little letter has conspiracy theorists shouting, "Gotcha, NASA," because it screams, movie prop, louder than a megaphone. Could this be proof that the lunar surface was just a carefully dressed set, built to fool the world into believing we'd conquered the moon? And here's the kicker. Those impossibly perfect camera shots. Think about it. Who was behind the lens filming Apollo 11's lunar module blasting off from the moon? The footage is pristine, zooming in and panning like it's straight out of a blockbuster. No shaky handheld vibes here, just flawless cinematography tracking the spacecraft as it soars skyward. Was there a secret cameraman hiding behind a crater? Or did NASA borrow a page from Kubrick's playbook to stage the ultimate space epic? These polished visuals make you wonder if the moon landing was less about exploration and more about crafting a story too good to question. So, what's the deal? Space detectives? Are these clues, dodgy shadows, glowing astronauts, labeled rocks, And movie-like shots? Proof that the moon landing was a NASA hoax directed by Stanley Kubrick? Or is there a logical explanation waiting to flip the script? We're just getting started peeling back the layers of this Apollo 11 mystery. So stick with me as we hunt for the truth behind the greatest show in space history. Hey, cosmic truth seekers, ready to tackle the biggest roadblock in the moon landing saga? Let's zoom in on the Van Allen belts, two massive, invisible rings of radiation wrapped around Earth like a sci-fi force field. These bad boys are packed with high-energy particles that could punch right through a spacecraft's hull and pose a deadly threat to astronauts brave enough to venture beyond our planet. It's the ultimate plot twist in the Apollo 11 story. NASA's own experts admit that even today, we haven't cracked the code to safely navigate through this buzzing radiation zone. So, rewind to over 50 years ago. How on Earth, or off it, did the Apollo 11 crew zip through these belts with nothing but a flimsy aluminum shell protecting them? That's the million-dollar question buzzing in the minds of moon landing skeptics. And some say the answer's simple: they didn't. It was all a cleverly staged studio trick. Let's paint the picture. The Van Allen belts aren't just a minor hiccup. They're a galactic gauntlet. Discovered by scientist James Van Allen in 1958, these radiation zones stretch out thousands of miles, loaded with charged particles that could fry electronics and turn a space mission into a cosmic disaster. Back in the 60s, NASA was racing to beat the Soviets to the moon, but their tech was still in its infancy. The Apollo 11 spacecraft? Basically a tin can with a fancy paint job. Its thin aluminum walls were no match for the million-volt energy blasts lurking in those belts. So how did Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins stroll through this radiation nightmare and live to tell the tale? The official story says they blasted through fast enough to dodge the worst of it. But conspiracy buffs aren't buying it. They're pointing fingers at a Hollywood cover-up, whispering that the whole moon landing was filmed on a soundstage, safe, sound, and radiation-free. Here's where it gets wild. Mystery lovers, if the Van Allen belts were such a deal-breaker, why didn't NASA just admit defeat? Some say they couldn't. They had to win the space race, no matter the cost. Enter Stanley Kubrick, the cinematic wizard behind 2001, A Space Odyssey. His film's jaw-dropping space scenes had everyone believing in lunar adventures. Could he have been NASA's secret weapon to fake Apollo 11? Imagine this. Instead of risking lives in a radiation-riddled void, they set up shop in a studio. Lights blazing, cameras rolling, and Kubrick calling the shots. No deadly particles, no busted spacecraft. Just a perfectly scripted moon landing hoax to fool the world. It's a theory that's got legs. And it's fueled by that nagging question: how did they beat the odds with tech that seems laughably basic today? So, what's your take, space detectives? Did Apollo 11 really conquer the Van Allen belts? Or did NASA pull off the ultimate sleight of hand with a little Hollywood magic? We're diving deeper into this lunar riddle. And I want you along for the ride, because the truth's out there. And it's begging to be uncovered. Hold up, space sleuths. Before we slap the fake label on the moon landing, let's hit pause and zoom in on the facts. Could every wild clue we've uncovered about Apollo 11 really point to a grand hoax? Or is there a twist waiting to flip this conspiracy on its head? Let's start with those funky shadows that have everyone buzzing. Sure, they don't line up perfectly parallel like you'd expect under the sun's lone spotlight on the moon. But here's the kicker. It's not a smoking gun. Wide-angle lenses and tricky camera angles can warp shadows into weird shapes. And guess what? You can see the same thing right here on Earth. It's less Hollywood studio and more optical illusion, but it's still got us scratching our heads and wondering what's up with the lunar landscape. Now, what about those glowing astronauts standing in the dark? It's one of the juiciest bits of moon landing conspiracy fuel. How can someone in shadow shine like they're under a stage light? Well, buckle up for this. The moon's surface is like a giant cosmic mirror. That powdery lunar soil bounces sunlight around like snow on a bright winter day, lighting up everything in its path. No secret Hollywood lamps needed, just the sun and some reflective moon dust working their magic. It's a neat trick of nature that might just explain why Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin look like stars in their own lunar blockbuster, without a single studio involved. And then there's the big bad Van Allen belts. the radiation zones that conspiracy fans say should have stopped Apollo 11 dead in its tracks. These buzzing rings of high-energy particles sound like a sci-fi death trap. Right? But NASA's got an answer. The Apollo spacecraft zipped through them at lightning speed. With just enough shielding, think beefed-up aluminum. Not some flimsy foil. They claim the astronauts dodged the worst of the cosmic rays. Skeptics still raise an eyebrow, wondering if that's enough to outsmart the Van Allen radiation riddle. But it's a solid counterpunch to the impossible mission theory. Could they really have pulled it off? Or is this NASA's slickest alibi yet? Here's the clincher. Mystery lovers. The sheer scale of Apollo 11 makes this hoax idea a tough pill to swallow. Picture this. 400,000 brilliant minds poured their hearts into the Apollo program. From engineers to rocket scientists, all working to land humans on the moon. Then, 600 million people worldwide glued their eyes to TVs, watching the live broadcast of that historic touchdown. Could a lie that massive stay under wraps for decades? Every whisper silenced, every leak plugged? It's the kind of cover-up that'd need more than a few hush money checks. It'd be the greatest secret-keeping mission in history. So, where do we land, truth seekers? Did NASA and Stanley Kubrick fake the moon landing? Or are these clues just cosmic red herrings? The jury's still out, and I'm dying to hear your take as we dig deeper into this lunar enigma. Alright, cosmic detectives, it's time to wrap our heads around this lunar puzzle. What's the final verdict on the moon landing? Could Apollo 11 actually be the real deal? Or are we still missing a piece of the cosmic jigsaw? Let's chew on this. Maybe Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin did plant that flag on the moon. But the story doesn't end there. Oh no. It gets weirder. Enter Carl Wolf, a NASA insider who dropped a bombshell that's kept conspiracy hunters buzzing for years. This guy swore he saw jaw-dropping photos from the dark side of the moon, think towering structures, mushroom-shaped buildings, and spooky spires that look straight out of a sci-fi flick. Yep, you heard that right, alien-like architecture hiding in plain sight. So why, after 50 long years, haven't we zipped back to check it out? Is NASA hiding a lunar secret too wild to spill? Let's rewind and dig into Wolf's wild claim. Picture him in a NASA lab, sifting through classified snaps of the moon's mysterious far side, the part we never see from Earth. He said these weren't just blurry rocks, they were full-on constructions that screamed, someone, or something, has been here. Now, if that's true, it flips the Apollo 11 script upside down. Maybe we landed, sure, but stumbled onto a cosmic cover-up NASA's been dodging ever since. Why else would we abandon the moon for half a century? Tech's better now, rockets, rovers, you name it. So what's stopping us? Some whisper it's not about money or interest. It's about what's up there, secrets too big, too strange, too out of this world for us to handle. Could the moon landing be real and hiding a mind-blowing twist? Here's where you come in. Mystery buffs. This lunar tale's got more layers than a spaceship's heat shield. Carl Wolf's story isn't some lone crackpot rant. It's a breadcrumb in a trail of moon landing oddities. Think about it. NASA's got the tools to revisit the lunar surface. Yet they've left it untouched since the 70s. Are they scared of what we'd find? Proof of alien bases, ancient ruins, or something even Stanley Kubrick couldn't dream up for 2001, A Space Odyssey? The dark side of the moon's a blank slate begging for answers. And Wolf's peek behind the curtain only amps up the intrigue. Did Apollo 11 uncover more than we bargained for? And is NASA keeping us in the dark about the real lunar scoop? So, where do you stand, truth chasers? Is the moon landing a legit win for humanity? Or a half-truth masking a galactic mystery? Did we go, see something freaky, and swear it off forever? I'm tossing the mic to you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me, real, fake, or something in between? What's NASA not saying about the moon? Hit that like button if this lunar enigma's got you hooked. And let's keep unraveling the secrets of Apollo 11 together, because the cosmos is calling. And we're not done digging yet. Wow, space explorers, we've made it to the end of this wild lunar ride. Huge thanks for sticking with me. If this deep dive into the moon landing mystery has your curiosity buzzing, let's keep the adventure going. Want a sequel unpacking more secrets of the moon? Like what's really hiding on that dark side? Then smash that like button. hit subscribe, and tap the bell so you're first in line for the next cosmic clue drop. Share this video with your fellow truth seekers and spark a debate. Was Stanley Kubrick secretly NASA's greatest director, turning Apollo 11 into the ultimate Hollywood hoax? I'm Unusual Files, your guide to the unexplained, and I can't wait to dig deeper with you. Before you blast off, let's recap the stakes. This isn't just about shadows or rocks. It's about unraveling whether the moon landing was humanity's triumph or a masterful fake. Did Kubrick, the genius behind 2001, A Space Odyssey, stage a lunar blockbuster to fool us all? Your clicks and comments fuel this journey. So tell me below, what's your take on NASA's moon mission? Real deal or cosmic con? Let's keep the conversation alive and chase the truth together. See you in the next video. Mystery lovers,